Well, the gentleman yields. Some of those amendments were co-sponsored in regular legislation by Democrats, and yet when it came to the Budget Committee, they voted against them in their own bills that were in the floor over here. They voted against them, just partisan politics. It helped add to that cynical attitude that you're referring to.
I agree, and I will conclude
if the gentleman will yield, I think that there was also an amendment presented that day in those 36 amendments that would have allowed your state of Florida and your state of Texas and my state of Tennessee to continue to deduct the sales tax deductibility that some of us worked very hard in 2003 to have that deduction restored for our states where we do not have a state income tax. We have a sales tax, and that is an issue of tax fairness, and it was a party line vote to take that deduction away. In my state of Tennessee, that is about a $1,600 deduction per family. And that ends up being real money in the pockets of our families. This new $683 billion tax increase that the majority has brought forward and laid on the table here in this House and said, we're for it. That is what they want. That is what they think should be the priority. That bill, their budget, will take another $2,668 per tax filer out of the pockets of my constituents and send it here. And I yield back to the gentleman from Florida.
No, just to conclude, I want to thank you for your leadership. But again, this is just not that complicated. The reality is that, you know, is government here to help serve the people, or are the people here in this planet and on this country there to help fund government exclusively? And that's the battle, and you'll hear that time and time again when we're trying to reduce taxes on working people, on working Americans, on families. They say, you're going to hurt government if you don't allow us to increase taxes. Hurt government? Excuse me? Since when is the role of the government just to milk people as much as it possibly can? And so again, there's a reason why the rankings of this Congress are the lowest they've ever been. And I guess some people think, well, nobody's watching. And therefore, we can vote, we can say that we support tax cuts, and even sometimes file legislation, and then vote against amendments on the budget to lower taxes per child tax credit, to have the per child tax credit, the death penalty, the marriage penalty, so that you don't have to pay more just because you get married, and even the death tax. And quoting from a colleague of mine from Florida, I believe it was Congressman Feeney that I heard say one time, as partisan as this process is, could we not possibly at least agree that there should be no taxation without respiration? Oh no, not in this process. In this process, with the people in control now, they're going to milk the taxpayer, they're going to spend every penny, and when those are spent, they're going to shake people's, look in the cushions of people's homes to see if there are loose quarters and take those as well. Because government knows best, because there's no money that we can't spend, and frankly, the American people know better. They're wising up, and I thank all of you, particularly the gentlewoman from Tennessee, for your leadership in bringing common sense to this process.